Welcome back, guys, to another review. Thank you so much for dropping by. Sorry for the delay on this one. I've been quite busy, but I am excited to get this one out to you before it actually comes out to movie theaters. And so today we're talking about A Complete Unknown. A Complete Unknown is directed by James Mangold, you may recognize from Ford vs. Ferrari, Walk the Line, and Logan. It stars Timothée Chalamet, Elle Fanning, Edward Norton, and Monica Barbaro. I must say I was eagerly anticipating this film just because of essentially one reason, which is Timothée Chalamet. He's one of my absolute favorite young actors, and I've enjoyed pretty much everything he's been in, from Call Me By Your Name to Bones and All to Dune. I will preface that I saw this film under some crazy circumstances. I actually saw this film at an early promotional screening where I was able to briefly meet Timothée Chalamet, and he actually introduced the film.
Close to Bob Dylan, and there's probably some form of psychosis. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy the movie. I'll see you guys after.
I'm sorry it took me so long to get to this review, as I did see it actually quite a while ago now, but I just want to say that honestly, that experience probably helped me enjoy the film more than I might otherwise have. To give a truly objective review, I might need to watch it again in the future, removed from that context. So, did I enjoy it? Yes. This film was a good time. I was never bored. It's competently directed by James Mangold, of course, who is no stranger to a music biopic. Visually, it's very nice to look at, with some juicy Panavision anamorphics. And the performances were strong across the board, even from the two love interests who had limited screen time. They were all very good, but the standouts here for me were Edward Norton, Boyd Holbrook, and of course, the center of the film, Timothée Chalamet. Being from Minnesota, you would think that I would have more intimate knowledge of Bob Dylan's life. However, I didn't grow up in a household that really listened to his music. Sure, I knew a song or two from pop culture, but I wasn't really familiar with his story. This allowed me to watch the film with serious suspension of disbelief and treat it almost as if it were a fiction. So with that said, I found Timothy's portrayal of Bob Dylan to be great. It's very admirable that he sings the songs himself, and he really does come across as a convincing embodiment of Bob Dylan in that era, at least to someone with little connection to Bob Dylan. Boyd Holbrook was fantastic as Johnny Cash. He really ate up the scenes that he was in, and was one of my favorite parts of the film, specifically the dynamic that he and Chalamet had that felt palpable, which really added a lot to the moments when they crossed paths on screen. The musical performances had real dynamism. A few scenes in particular were especially gripping, like the television blues performance as well as the duets that Bob Dylan has with Joan Baez. However, I wouldn't say this is a film that I'm dying to revisit or that will necessarily be a personal favorite of this year. It fits neatly into the biopic genre and leaves Bob Dylan himself somewhat in the shadows. The film allows him to remain a mystery, and we don't dig deeply into the man behind the myth. Personally, I would have loved to have seen something that breaks the mold a little bit and dives deeper into Dylan's humanity. But that is the challenge of music biopics, especially about someone who is as famous as Bob Dylan and who is still alive today. Regardless of all that being said, I highly recommend that you go check out this film at the cinema, if only for the wonderful performances that are anchored by Timothée Chalamet's performance at the center of it all, and just for the entertaining ride that this movie is. I'm curious to hear what Bob Dylan fans think of this movie. Overall, it was a very good time at the cinema, and it will likely, very likely, be nominated for a handful of Oscars, but especially for Best Actor for Timothée Chalamet. Thank you guys so much for dropping by once again. I apologize for the delay on reviews. Once again, just been very busy cooking some stuff up. I appreciate you dropping by. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of A Complete Unknown? And as always, if you like this video or other videos on my channel, go ahead, like this one, subscribe, and share it with your people. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.